but make it so you're sellable, make it so you're marketable to others. Welcome in. So I've got an hour to get a video out before I go back to work, or I guess to work for the day. I work at 4, I think at 4:30. Hope it's 4:30. I'll check my schedule after recording this. But you know, it's this year it was kind of a kick in the teeth, just kicking the teeth after kicking the teeth. And I started looking back at the my last, I don't know how long it would be, but my entire career that I've had. I started at a job in 2016 and wasn't really making hours, but didn't really have any responsibilities. 2008 hits, the recession hits. I'm not making enough money for the bills that I had, and it's I didn't really have a marketable skill. I was still in college. I'm going to turn this down a little bit, and I remember going to a job interview, and they're like, "Yeah, open interviews." At this address, and it was a hotel meeting room. So it's a big conference hall. And I remember walking in, and there was a stage up front, bunch of chairs down the stretch, down kind of the middle. And they gave you a little packet, and it was maybe 4 or 5 pages about the company, and it was to work at a gas station. And you sit down, and you sit down, the whole room fills up. And then anyone, the speaker goes up, gives the whole spiel, like, "Hey, we're so-and-so, we work at such and such." And at the end of it, basically it was, if you have only a high school diploma, or what was it, less than high school diploma, or you're under 18, stand up, see your way out. Unfortunately, we're not able to hire you because of, state law. Can't sell gas, can't sell cigarettes, can't sell alcohol under 18, or with a high school diploma. That's all they required. And I was like, okay, I'm safe on that one. Everyone gets up, as they were filing out the back. I think they were giving out like $5 gas cards or something. And after it quiets down a bit, everyone's kind of waiting, thinking maybe there's another part. Anyone with only high school diploma, no, so that would be me. I had some college, but not, only about a year. And at that point, I was like, okay, I get to stand up, I get to walk out. No job, no interview, nothing. And I was grossly underemployed at that point, and looking at what my options were. And I was still in school at the same time, but I was only getting 3-4 hour shifts a week, maybe 16 hours a week, and it wasn't enough. And then, but I was making more than minimum wage at that point. So I stayed there, finished my schooling. Couple years after that incident, I ended up getting to go to my school, had a job opening for me. I went, did that for, I think 2 or 3 years? I think 2 years. And so that was cool. It really helped out. And then just as time went on, I was getting more hours at the company that I was working for. And then worked my way up to the store manager in February 2019. And what would that be? Right after Easter 2019. I think it was April, middle of April. It was April 15th. My boss, Scott, who I've known since I was 13, 14, something like that, walked in and said that, the store was going to be no more in that location, that he would try and find me hours within the company, and that I had to, let all my staff know. And that really sucked. And it's something that I still remember even today, sitting and basically getting told, yeah, because of some stuff that happened with the upper management, you don't have a job. And I still harbor some resentments towards that company. and towards the people that own it. Scott had no input on it, and the people that should be making decisions weren't. It was people that had no, that were very more self-interest. So, I did that. We shut down the store in 2 weeks. That's what we had to do. And then I'm trying to think. I think from there, I'd worked a couple weeks down at another store after that. Worked a couple of events, but it didn't pay for me to drive somewhere for the little amount of money that I was making. And by the time I drove down, bought a lunch, did all that stuff, drove home, I'd be breaking even roughly at the end of the day with taxes. So I sat down, went up to grab a snack from the local grocery store. I needed to do some grocery shopping. They had a sign in the window. Overnights, $15 an hour. I was like, okay, you know what? I can do that. So I was out of work there 3 weeks. And I remember applying. I think I applied Monday night. The HR person took Tuesdays off. Wednesday morning, got a phone call like, hey, we want to schedule, an interview, a couple of interviews. So my first one was the phone one. I was like, yeah, whenever it's good for you, how about today? Okay. Right now. So I did my phone interview, and then I had to go in that Friday and get a in-person interview. Got hired on the spot, had to do a drug test and do all that. Okay, orientation's on Wednesday at like 3 p.m. It'll go till 6. You'll get paid for it. Yada, yada. So did that. And then, so that was May of last year. Late September of this year, our store director decided that we were no longer needed at that location. And every store operates just a little bit more individually. He walked in and basically fired everyone. And it's like, okay, that sucked. Huh. And it was like, okay, so that kind of sucks. So I sat, contemplated what to do over about a month. Applied for another company, got in right away. And everyone that was in my orientation group was older. And it's because, we have the experience to back us up. We have the work trackability, like the work, the seat on our resume, it basically says like, hey, here's what we worked, here's what we've done. And so we did that. Sounds like my clothes are done. But if you're a teenager and you're sitting watching this and going, I'm trying to find a job, but no one's willing to hire me. You have to find somewhere that will, and you have to be able to put in the work. If you're an adult that can't find work, look into stuff that maybe you wouldn't expect to find work in. I know it sucks. I have a college degree, and I'm still working a job that even someone with just a high school diploma could get. It's just it's the unfortunate matter. But make it so you're sellable. Make it so you're marketable to others. Can you market your skills to others and to another company? I think that's something that we don't really talk about, and it's never really taught. It's, can you market yourself to a company, and can you show that you bring more value than what they just see on a piece of paper? And sometimes getting into those companies is really difficult and really hard, and it's going to be really frustrating. And, I understand that. But it's also going to be something that you will sit, and it'll be one of the biggest learning experiences of your life. And it's going to be a great thing to sit down when you finally do get that job and figure out what's going on. At the same time, I just applied to grad school this year, and I kind of fell through the cracks. And so I'll have to sit and pay an application fee because my application wasn't seen before October 31st, which does it suck, yes, but that's a whole different interview. But we're still able I'm still able to go in and use some of the experiences that I've had this last year and show where it's usable for people. If I've one takeaway from this, it's, make sure you're still marketing yourself and you're marketable. And just having time and availability is an available and marketable skill and resource to have. So thank you for this little ramble session. I now get to edit it quick before work, and I'll see you hopefully next week, Monday. I didn't have one last week.